prison release statute enacted during the COVID-19 pandemic in New Jersey and championed by Rep. Nellie Pou, DNJ, has recently come under renewed scrutiny following incidents involving former inmates who were subsequently charged or convicted of homicide. The measure, signed into law in November 2020 by then-Governor Phil Murphy, permitted the early release of more than 7,000 incarcerated individuals. The legislation allowed for the award of public health emergency credits to those with less than 1 year remaining on their sentences, provided they had not been convicted of murder or sexual offenses and were not classified as sex offenders. However, individuals convicted of certain violent crimes, including aggravated manslaughter and kidnapping, were eligible for up to 8 months early release. Several individuals released under this statute became involved in subsequent violent offenses. 2 individuals were later convicted or pled guilty to homicide in unrelated cases, while a third is currently detained pending trial on charges of murder and conspiracy. Supporters of the legislation, such as the American Civil Liberties Union, ACLU, asserted that reducing prison overcrowding during the COVID-19 crisis was essential to public health and safety, including for correctional staff. Rep. Pou stated at the time that a smaller prison population would contribute to safer conditions amid the pandemic. Since the emergence of high-profile cases involving serious post-release offenses, Rep. Pou has made limited public statements regarding the law. The measure faced opposition from Republican lawmakers and certain county prosecutors, who cautioned that releasing individuals with histories of violent offenses could undermine community safety. Detailed examples have drawn further attention to the policy's implications. Jerry Crawford, released on parole supervision in November 2020 after serving a sentence for burglary, was charged days later with murder and is expected to stand trial in 2027. Ronnie Padden, released early following convictions for aggravated assault and weapons offenses, subsequently killed 2 individuals at a social gathering and was later sentenced to 12 years for aggravated manslaughter. Theodore Luckey, released 8 months before the conclusion of a sentence for burglary and illegal weapon possession, was convicted for a double homicide shortly after his release. Republican critics of Rep. Pou have attributed public safety concerns to her support for this legislation, arguing that it enabled the early release of repeat offenders. State GOP leadership has sharply criticized her role in the law's passage, emphasizing concerns about risks to the broader community. In response to inquiries about the program's outcomes, Pou's campaign stressed her ongoing support for law enforcement and public safety initiatives, highlighting recent votes to allocate over $253 million for hiring and retaining local police personnel, as well as directing $13.5 million to state efforts in combating narcotics trafficking. This scrutiny arises as Rep. Pou campaigns for a second term in a competitive northern New Jersey district, which was narrowly carried by former President Donald Trump in 2024. As a member of the Congressional Progressive Caucus, she has aligned with House Democratic leadership on various legislative matters, including opposition to Republican proposals on immigration and criminal justice policy. Despite ongoing criticism, election analysts from the nonpartisan Cook Political Report have rated the district as likely Democrat, referencing the district's recent voting patterns in gubernatorial elections. Want to make sure you never miss our latest videos? Tap that follow button right now. If our content brought a smile to your face, made you think, or taught you something new, please like this video and share with your friends and family. Your support helps our community grow, and sharing the love only ta.